Run!
How's it going, my evil residents? Today, we're gonna rank all of the Resident Evil 3 Remake weapons from worst weapon to best weapon. And first, let's get into the criteria. We are not ranking just flat damage. Obviously, flat damage will be a significant role in the amount of points that each weapon gets. These points are arbitrary and are not written down anywhere on paper, and the points are just how I feel. So if you don't like that, feel free to dislike the video. Now, I'm going to take into account how easy or hard the weapon is to get, how practical it is, how often you would use it, how many applications it has, if it's good at specifically destroying any bosses, if it cheeses any bosses, stuff like that. So say a weapon's really good, but you need a ton of points for the bonus shop to get it. It might not rank as high as you think it will, but hey, maybe it will. You never know. Anyway, I won't waste any more of your time except to say the response for the last two videos has been sensational, and I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, that's about it. Let's get into the list.
I bet you I can catch this knife. Ready?
In last place at number 17, to the surprise of literally nobody. Actually, no. Maybe someone. Someone might be surprised. We have the combat knife. Specifically, this is the knife that Carlos starts with, not the one that Jill starts with. They are separate weapons. I'm going to rank them separately because I feel like it, okay? Now, the reason I put Carlos's knife below Jill's is because Carlos, he starts with an assault rifle, okay? He starts with an assault rifle and a handgun. You don't need, what do you need the knife for? Nothing. You don't need it. Oh, are you going to open boxes? You get showered with assault rifle ammo in the RPD. You can just use your pistol to open the boxes. So, you literally don't need Carlos's combat knife, and that's why it's last.
Hey, I don't care what you believe.
Everybody just calm down.
Get him off my land!
At number 16, we have Carlos's handgun, the G18. As I said for the last one, Carlos starts with an assault rifle, and the game showers you with ammo for it. So, this is basically just for opening boxes or shooting Mr. Raccoons. That's all you need this for. You don't need it for anything. It doesn't kill faster than the assault rifle. It's literally the same as Jill's statistically. So I put it at the second to last at number 16 here.
Is that a knife? Is that a real knife?
Yes, it's a real knife.
My weakness, it's small knives.
At number 15 is Jill's survival knife. Yes, they have different names, that's why I rank them differently. Don't know why these are different weapons, but, you know, fuck it, we ball. Jill's survival knife is higher than Carlos's because when you start the game, you have the pistol and the knife. Now, most people that have brains and are cool, or watched a YouTube video and learned how to do it, stun a zombie by shooting it in the head until it falls down, and then you stand behind it while it's laying down, and you just stab it until it dies. And you just learn the death animation. That's why the knife is higher than the other stuff, because it's really useful at the beginning of the game when you're trying to conserve ammo, especially on like your first playthrough when you're not super used to the game. You're gonna use the knife more than most other people would, especially when you haven't learned the dodge mechanic. So yeah, the survival knife, Jill's starting knife, goes at number 15.
Thanks.
At number 14, this might be a little controversial, but it's the infinite MUP that you get from the bonus shop. This thing sucks. Okay, I don't care that it has infinite ammo. This thing sucks ass. It is the lowest damage handgun in the entire game. It counts the burst damage handgun, okay? This is the worst handgun in the whole entire game. The only thing it has going for it is accuracy. It does not have the biggest magazine, the infinite ammo. By the time you unlock this, you're used to the game, and you don't need infinite ammo for your pistol. The only reason I can think that you'd want to run this is if you're doing a pistol-only run. And even then, I'm pretty sure there's enough pistol ammo and gunpowder to craft pistol ammo with the crafting companion that you could beat this game just handgun bullets and use a stronger handgun. So I don't really think this serves that big of a purpose, but also it's an infinite ammo weapon, so I can't rank it below literally knives.
DESSERT?
Yeah, dude. I need me a TREAT.
What you guys talking about?
At number 13, we have the starting handgun, the G19, not to be confused with the G17 from Resident Evil 7. Don't know why the one in the 2017 game is an older Glock than the G19 from this game that takes place in 1998, but I don't understand that. If any gun nut wants to explain it to me in the comments, please do. I'd actually really genuinely want to know. I'm so curious about that. I didn't think about that till right now. this is a solid handgun, especially with all the attachments it gets. The sight that it gets on top that gives it the red dot in the middle is especially useful because it gives it the accuracy of the infinite MUP, which makes it further more worthless. Then it has a giant magazine. Just all around, it's awesome. The reason I have it low is simply damage. It is honestly simply damage. Once you're used to the handguns, you don't need a super huge handgun magazine. That's why it goes to number 13.
Use the wooden stirrers to push back my cuticles. Everyone knows that.
Okay,
Jerry.
okay, let's not fight. I broke it. Let me pay for it. Run.
At number 12, we have the Almighty Samurai Edge. Yeah, this thing does so much damage. If you haven't used it, please give it a try. It genuinely is a 2 to 3 shot kill. It's really good. As long as you land your headshots with this thing, you don't need any other handgun in this game except for the one that's above it, but we'll get to that. That is a very specific use case, and that's why that one's above this one. But yeah, Samurai Edge is incredible. It's the best handgun. Every time I play this game, if I'm not doing like a new game speedrun, I use this handgun. Not only because it's the Samurai Edge, but it's actually just genuinely really good.
And a massage chair? Motherfucker get ready in the nut room. That was the nut room.
At number 11, we have the Hot Dogger. I hate saying that. This is basically a 1,000-degree knife from clickbait YouTube thumbnails. It's pretty cool, or rather, it's not technically cool. Yeah, this sets the zombie ablaze when you slash it, and also does lots of damage. So this is best paired with a handgun that's gonna efficiently knock down a zombie, and then once they're knocked down, you just stab the shit out of them. And that's what this is good for. I wouldn't really recommend it for anything else because you'll probably die trying to use it. And I wouldn't recommend just using this either unless you're really good at dodging, and then you can do the dodge and you just go stab. But yeah, it does good damage. It's a knife, so that's why it's kind of low.
Dude, why is it that when I flash somebody, it's like I just slapped them in the face with
At number 10, we have flash grenades. Now, I actually find flash grenades less useful in this game than most other Resident Evil games, simply because it's not a defense item, it doesn't kill plagas, it doesn't insta-kill any plaga type enemies. All it is good for is just stunning enemies so you can run past, whereas usually flash grenades in Resident Evil have some other type of utility. It doesn't here, so that's why it goes almost about in the middle of the road. Usually I'd put flash grenades higher, but it simply does less than flash grenades usually do.
shit! Grenade! Going back, grab it! Sir, yes, sir!
At number 9, we have frag grenades. And frag grenades, tried and true, are going to be in the middle of the list because they do a lot of damage, but they're kind of rare, and you don't get too many of them. I think there's between 6 and 10 of them in this game, which is less than Resident Evil games usually have. I think it might be a little bit more than Resident Evil 2 Remake. Not totally sure. Yeah, with how much high-power weaponry you get in this game that will just delete most anything, you don't super need the frag grenades, but they are still useful. If you're in a pinch, you're out of like grenade launcher ammo, it's like, oh, throw a little fastball at them, and they're dead. Yeah, so frag grenades go on number 9.
So you've come.
At number 8, hear me out, okay? The G18, the burst one that you get when Jill wakes up in the hospital. This thing, if you haven't used it for the Nemesis boss fight, unless you're playing on Inferno, this is what you want for that boss fight, okay? It does just enough damage when you do the perfect dodge on Nemesis's, Nemi's, I'm saying Nemi because it's funny, on Nemi's tentacle smash ability, that it will always pop the spores in one burst. So for that alone, that boss fight's a pain in the ass. This makes it a lot easier because you don't have to shoot it multiple times. You don't have to worry about aiming too much. That honestly is why it is so high up on the list, because of how useful it is in that boss fight. It has the same exact stats as the G18, the regular one. It comes with a giant magazine, and it's a burst weapon. And by this time in the game, you have a ton of handgun ammo. So it goes at number 8. It might be controversial. I don't really care. I love this thing. At number 7, I'm actually not sure how people are going to feel about this, is the Raiden, the lightning zap gun that you get from the bonus shop. It's low because it costs a fuck ton of points in the bonus shop. Only one-hit kills enemies if you hit their weak spot. It literally does nothing to some bosses. Like when you're fighting Rooftop Nemesis, does nothing. When you're fighting Nemesis when he's walking around, just regular, does nothing. It's useful against Dog Nemesis, when his like heart is falling out, it's good there. You can use it for the bulbs in the final nemesis fight. You can use it on the Hunter Gamma's mouths. But the fact that you have to get headshots with it just takes away a lot of its usefulness. It's basically the PRL-4 from Resident Evil 4, but if it sucked. So that's why it goes at number 7. All around, it's just so inconvenient to use, and you're better off using your bonus points in the shop on literally most anything else, besides the hot dogger maybe, but even then I'd still rather use that. Why is the Raiden so high on this list? I should have put it lower, actually.
Hi, I'm Andrew Lincoln, aka Ricky Dicky Doodog Rhymes.
At number 6, this will definitely be controversial because I'm ranking another infinite ammo weapon kind of low. The Infinite CQBR. It's, spoiler alert, it's a spot below the regular CQBR.
Who the hell are you, man?
Officer friendly.
It's lower because, as I said in the beginning of the video, the game showers you with assault rifle bullets. You do not need as many assault rifle bullets as the game gives you. Like, unless you really can't hit your shots, and even then, you have Carlos's handgun to back up. The reason that this is lower, besides that, is you can't put the CQBR's attachments on this. The dual magazine, the sight that makes it a laser, you can't put either of those on this. That sucks. Those attachments are what makes the CQBR so fun to use and so good, and you just can't use them on this. And I think that takes away half the fun of using it, and then you're not even really losing that much by not having the infinite ammo because of how much ammo is in the game. So I think it goes below the number 5 spot. I'm just going to play the title card for the number 5 CQBR already. The regular CQBR is so good, especially if you... Honestly, it's what makes Carlos's parts so enjoyable, besides Carlos himself. You have this really awesome assault rifle, and it's an assault rifle that doesn't feel overpowered, but still feels really good, and feels as powerful as an assault rifle should in a survival zombie scenario like this. Normally, I don't use assault rifles very much in Resident Evil games. Not because they're not good, but because I feel like they kind of spoil the zombie survival atmosphere. It makes the game a little too easy. But in this game, I love it. It's so handy. And I think it helps that the game throws lickers and stuff and hunters at you to really give you a reason to have the punchiness of the assault rifle. It ups the enemy density. So I think the game balances the CQBR well, and the CQBR just in general is just really, really good. So that's why it goes in number 5. It would be higher if Jill could use it on anything but assisted, but
1887, and I have a shotgun. Let me prove it.
At number 4, we have the M3 shotgun. Not to be confused with the M3 shotgun from Resident Evil 5. This thing, you shoot it at a zombie, he's either dead or he's stunned long enough for you to run past. You can forget about him. You don't have to think about that zombie ever again. If you shoot a zombie with this shotgun, you forget about him, okay? You don't need to ever think about that zombie ever again, even if it doesn't die. The amount of attachments you get for this thing lets it hold so many shells. It makes it so stable. It has very little recoil. It reloads so fast. This is one of the best shotguns, period, in a Resident Evil game. I love this thing. It's, whenever I start a game, it's the first thing I go for. I go out of my way to go and get this thing as fast as possible because it's really easy to go get immediately. Once you beat the game once, you'll have enough bonus points. Make sure you get the bolt cutters in the bonus shop. So you can just run right to the substation and just go get it. Easy peasy. It's right there. And then you're set for life, honestly, for this game. The only reason it doesn't go higher is because for mostly bosses, there's things that are better for bosses than this gun. Early game bosses, you're going to be using this a lot. But yeah, it's at number 4 purely because damage.
Rifle or shotgun?
I want a gun that'll force girls to go out with me.
Desert Eagle.
At number 3, we have the .44 LE Lightning Hawk, which is also a gun in Resident Evil 5, oddly enough, but it's called something else. This thing in this game is as good as it is in Resident Evil 5. I would honestly have it higher if there was more Magnum ammo in this game, or if there was an infinite ammo version of this gun, which I'm surprised there's not. That kind of sucks. Also, you start with this on Inferno, which is honestly very nice. I'm very glad that Capcom does that. That was very nice of them to do. Thank you, Capcom. The super long barrel attachment for this gun is also hilarious, and it just does a ton of damage. It's what makes the Nemesis fight in the acid sewer area. It makes it bearable, honestly. like, because you've ran through most of your ammo by now. But you got this thing in your pocket to just rip him a new one. It's really satisfying to use. It does a ton of damage. You have just enough ammo for it to get you past what you need it for. You can blast the IVs away with this thing. And the IVs are a pain in the ass. I honestly would rather use them for the IVs than the Nemesis boss and save my grenade rounds. But it's also good for the hunter. But it's also good for the hunter ambush section when you're coming back with the piece of the vaccine. Is it the vaccine? Yes, it is. When you're coming back with the piece of the vaccine in the lab area, and you get ambushed by all the hunters in the pods. The lightning hawk is really good for that section. It's really good for the IVs. You get it right before it's needed, basically. Except on an Inferno, when you need it for the early bosses, then you got it there. But yeah, it's just generally is really good. It's really useful. At number 2, we have the grenade launcher. The reason it goes here is because it's, this thing is good at everything. You need it for 2 of the bosses. It makes, one of the bosses you literally do actually need it. The Clock Tower Nemesis fight, you do actually need it there. And then the fight after that, if you remember and still have some mine rounds from before, you can actually accelerate the fight by shooting mine rounds up at the top, and Nemesis will fall down, and you can skip the whole Carlos, he's on number 3! He's on number 3, Cheel, shoot number 3! And just wail on him with your Magnum, or your explosive rounds. The grenade launcher is the go-to, does a ton of damage, it's good against every boss. Yeah, just, it's one of the best weapons in the game. As far as regular weapons go, not counting any bonus weapons, best weapon in the game, easily. At number 1, as I said with the Resident Evil 5 list, you saw this coming. It's the Infinite Rocket Launcher. Okay? It trivializes Inferno mode. It trivializes the entire game. And it's even better than the one in Resident Evil 5 because you can't kill yourself with it. Like you can in that game. Like this thing just destroys everything. It's completely safe to use. This game puts the game in... If I put... Resident Evil 5's rocket launcher puts you in baby mode. Oh god, what mode does this one put you into? It puts you into plot armor baby mode. Okay, you're a baby with plot armor. That's what this one puts the game on. It's the best weapon in the game. Simply, hands down. I don't even need to explain that. Okay, it's an infinite rocket launcher. Rocket launchers one tap everything. You have infinite ammo. It can't kill you. It's the best. And you can use it as Carlos too. You could use it as Carlos. Well, that concludes the Resident Evil 3 weapons ranked list. I figured I would release this one next while I work on the Resident Evil 8 weapons ranked, because that one's going to take some more doing, because it has a lot of weapons, and there's no weapon storage in that game, so I can't just store them in my typewriter like in Resident Evil 4. I have to get the weapon, fully upgrade it, get the footage, put it away. It's a huge pain in the ass, and it's a huge pain in the ass to test all the weapons. So, that one's going to take a while, but I am working on it. Yeah, please leave a like if you like the list, dislike if you dislike the list, dislike if you like the list so much, if it was your favorite list on the planet. Subscribe for more of these and other types of Resident Evil videos. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Stay evil, my residents.